It's thinking about.
Oh, now it is. Now it's live. I see it. We're live. I totally did. There's like a little message. You guys we're having this complete conversation about. Okay, so Mock is freaking out because she has to. She's crying now because we were having this conversation about how she's overwhelmed with the prospect of having to clean out her house. Okay, this is where I shine. This is where if I live there, I'd be like, step aside, Mom. Okay. And I'd come in with my cape and I would come in and I would just clean freaking house. This is where
oh my God.
It's like, it's having me as a best friend. I would just be like, you just sit, you have your coffee, you go watch your stories on TV and I will just take over. All right. This is what I would do. It's like I'm the friend that cleans your oven when you're like down and out and you're like rocking back and forth in the corner. I'm that friend. Okay. And I would come in and I would clean everything. And she was like, where do you start? I said, listen, you just got to go in room by room. You got to get a dumpster. You got to start cleaning stuff out. You got to decide, what do I want to keep? What do I want to pitch? You know, what do I want to donate? This is what you have to do.
But that's the hard part.
Yeah. And then she goes, what about CDs? This is what about DVD, like music DVD? This is
like, what do you do with them?
Right.
What?
And I said, you got to decide. I go, because, you know, when we went through our DVDs, you know, we had a little organizer and we put the ones that were really like, I'm not going to keep Natalie Merchant, 10,000 Maniacs, but
that made me feel bad for Natalie Merchant. That made me feel bad for her.
This is the difference between us. I'm going to keep Synchronicity. I'm not going to keep Natalie Merchant. It's just, it's who I am. And she's like, I feel bad. She goes, I'm going to look at I'm going to keep T'Pow. Y'all remember T'Pow? You remember them? And I'm like, this is why you need me there. Because she's going to keep everything, you guys. She's going to keep like all of these horrible, horrible musicians from the 80s. All of the CDs.
How can I throw away T'Pow?
You're going to
do that.
Terrence Trent D'Arby. You're going to keep that CD, that one-hit wonder. This is why you need me there. This is why.
Well, but you're not here. So I'm going to have to do this on my own.
You're moving everything. I'm worried. I'm worried for your movers. You're going to have like 5 trucks moving all of your shit because I'm not there. Anyway,
but I really genuinely, I feel bad about like throwing away perfectly good DVDs and CDs. It's just that you don't like, nobody uses those anymore, right?
You should donate those like to science, right?
Especially T'Pow. And if you don't know who T'Pow is, I'm sorry, but you are missing out.
You obviously need a little bit of heart and soul is what you need. If you don't know who T'Pow is, what's wrong with you?
I love them.
Of course she did. Of course she loved them. Okay. And you should also give to like Salvation Army and Goodwill, all these places. Totally. Give to all the places. Also, you guys should visit mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. There's all sorts of stuff happening there.
$25 things. Everything is like $25.
And you can save big on the Giza Dream Sheets, which are delicious. So do that. Do it.
For real. Do it. These are the conversations that we have before the show.
Very important stuff that we talk about.
Very important things. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, we already have to thank Lori Weens. Lori, thank you. Lori says, please pray for my friend Trina. She has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in her bronchial tubes, lymph nodes, in trachea, chest, brain, upper right lobe of lung, and in her right hip. My God.
You guys, prayers.
Oh my gosh. She said, asking people to humbly pray for miracles and healing. Oh my gosh, that is horrendous news.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. Mm-hmm. Also, because I will forget if I don't do it right this second. We mentioned this not last week, but the week before we left, that we have our voicemail up and running. And I forgot. I forgot that we told you all that. And so need to go listen to see if there are any voicemails that we've received. But we highly, highly recommend, if you have something to say to us, especially if it's mean, because those are always the funnest.
Totally.
You can say it to our voicemail. You can call 317-520-1691 and say all the things to your heart's content. You can say all the things. Okay, before we get to things of substance, newsy things, couple headlines. Well, also, I just wanted to thank everybody for their concern about my podiatrist appointment.
So many pictures, so many foot pictures, a lot of bunion foot pictures that, listen, we appreciate those.
I am pleased to report, well, I'm not pleased to report the fact that I was right, that I do have what is considered a mild to moderate bunion on my right foot. But I learned that bunions are caused from this lower joint, like kind of in the middle of your foot, being too mobile. And both of my feet have that. So the fact that, it's entirely possible my left one will develop that over time. My right one's is mild and moderate. The good news is I don't need surgery. He was like, I would never suggest surgery for your situation because you're not in enough pain and you're not like hampered activity wise.
Right.
So he just gave me these and said, wear these inserts in your shoes. And then he said, if you get like pain that's worse, then you can consider the Lapiplasty, but like just you're going to have flare-ups because you're an arthritic person to begin with, but you just deal with those with Advil. And then once it gets to a point, if it gets to a point, it may not, but once it gets to a point that like it's real painful, then I would do a surgery.
And now I'm seeing ads for Lapiplasty like all the time. It's really
Oh my
weird.
God, me too.
What is that? Like
it's the surgery, but it's like a really not, it's invasive, but like not nearly as bad.
What is it that I'm seeing that now? Like it's just like it's the algorithm of my life is now showing there. It's serving me like Lapiplasty ads when I'm like, it's not me. It's my best friend. Stop it. Very strange.
Well, it was an encouraging visit only because I don't have to get my foot sliced into. And so
that's great.
I feel like that was good. Yeah.
Really great.
So, and I like confirming that I was right about my own diagnoses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like when that happens. Look at the light or don't look at it.
I have to sneeze, you guys. I have to sneeze. I
definitely do this though.
Is Morgan back? I just see that Morgan's back. Hi, Morgan. Are you back? I think.
Are you back?
If you're back, say hi. I have to sneeze. I don't have to sneeze anymore. Okay, it worked. Whatever it is worked. This works.
This worked.
This works.
This apparently makes the sneezes go away.
Totally.
Okay, so wanted to say that about just the follow-up because I promised you all an update, and I know you were losing sleep about it, so I really wanted to make sure that everybody got up to date. Also, fun fact, but it's not really that fun. It's actually like the most horrific fact ever. So, but you have to know this with me because I was like, oh my God. So the span between 1970 and 2024 is the same as the span between 1970 and 1916.
Oh my God. No, that's not right. That can't be possible. It's not. Okay.
Does that because like in 1970
I was born in 71. I was born in
so like thinking about 1916 is a whole life. That's a whole life away, right? Like that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, unfathomable.
Well, like 4 years prior, the Titanic sank.
See?
So that's crazy.
That's terrifying. So now when you look back at 1970 now, that's the same span of time. That just blew me away. And I was like, somebody's got to know that with me because I cannot know that by myself.
Well, now that we're all depressed. Thanks, Mom. All right.
I'm sorry, but I had to share that with everybody. I'm very, very sorry about it. But yeah, I had to.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, here's some positive news. Okay. So here is something positive, especially for those people who might be struggling right now with debt that seems to be like burying them. If you are feeling like you're in a quicksand of debt, there are solutions. There is help for you from Pivotal Debt Solutions. You can visit ZapMyDebt.com right now, and you will learn about that. This is not like an old school debt relief company that like strings your debt out for years and years and years. They have brand new aggressive strategies that can end your debt faster and easier than you have ever thought possible. They can give you all the details about that at ZapMyDebt.com today. They can eliminate interest. They can find programs to write off your balances so that you owe less. You can stop with the threatening phone calls. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You can do this without bankruptcy. So there's a lot of different methods that they have to help you. Please do not feel like you have to just struggle through this on your own when there is help available to you. They will find every solution possible to get you out of debt fast. And you can talk to them for free. There's no obligation. You can find out all the information for free just by visiting ZapMyDebt.com. Check them out if you are on the struggle bus. please. And thank you, Morgan McCoy. She says, back bitches.
Yay!
She
Morgan's
says,
back.
miss your faces.
We miss
And
you, Morgan.
Sherry, thank you so much. Sherry says, greetings from a beautiful beach in Greece, not missing the stupidity of the news cycle back home.
Wow.
I would not be missing it either.
Sounds awesome.
But also, like, maybe, and I'm not sending you away by any means, but there's some stupidity in the news cycle. So if you don't want to hear that, I'm warning you, there's going to be some stupidity today.
Buckle up.
Exactly. And thank you to Judy Hales. Judy Hales says, happy birthday to me. My last year in my 50s. Can't think of a better way to spend my birthday morning.
That's so sweet. Happy birthday.
Guys. Thank you. Thank you. Also Monday, I didn't realize when we talked about this, I think yesterday when we were mentioning the Stormy Daniels stuff, the trial's starting on Monday. I did not know that.
Well, this will be fun.
Monday.
That'll be good times, right? What's one more trial to throw in the mix? Woo!
And the big question is, will Trump take the stand?
Yeah,
because
I think they don't want him to.
They do not want him to.
No.
And I don't think he should.
I don't think he should either. I mean, if I were him, I'd be like, I'm too good for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just going to let the lawyers handle that.
I hope he does. I hope he takes that stance. I hope.
Yeah.
Love it. You know,
I would just like him to sit back.
It'd be great if he did, because he has better things to do with this time.
I mean, he's still gonna be there, but like talking, not a good thing for him.
Better things to do. He could be like, he could be in a seat, like doing campaign stuff. You know what I mean? Like texting, like, you know what I mean? Honestly, he could be doing campaign things from his seat. He could be like, I don't need to be dealing with this. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Just be above it. Be just above it.
Yeah.
Also, Tony Bobulinski's lawyer reached out to us again to let us know that they have now filed a new claim against Jamie Raskin. I just cannot get enough. Like I just wrote him back and I was like, can't stop, won't stop. Just sue everybody. Everybody.
Do it. And I hope the stuff with Tarlov comes to fruition too. I know that that's still in action and
that's in progress,
still happening. And so,
I mean, I just love that. I love that they're just like not taking this crap and they are
earth. Yeah.
I love that. Love it. And then also just one little celebrity weird note. Do you remember a few weeks ago, definitely before spring break, we had that little news story about Kate Beckinsale posting all kinds of Instagram pictures of herself in the hospital?
Yes.
She has deleted all of them without a word about what was actually wrong with her.
Okay. All right.
Why would you do that? Why would you be like, look, here I am in the hospital, feel sorry for me, and I've got a big bow in my hair, and then just silently take all of those pictures down and not mention it?
Because you're a celebrity and you're thirsty for attention, and then you're not. I don't know.
That is.
Or actually,
weird.
She's getting more attention because we're talking about it.
That's true, but I just thought it was of interest since we, had mentioned
it. But if you notice, like that's a lot of people are going to be talking about it because she took them down. You know, it's kind of like when people leave Instagram or leave a social media platform for like a day and people are like, oh,
Britney Spears does that on the regular.
Right.
Like she's constantly leaving and coming back and then look, I'm naked and then leaving again.
Here are my boobs. And then,
yeah. Shelly, thank you. Shelly says, happy Friday Eve. Just a reminder to read the insert to any new medication so that you'll know what side effects to watch for. It has been a miserable week of outlandish pain.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
What did you take? Can you help everybody know what not to take?
Because that's okay.
Horrible. And I don't know what medicine that you're on.
Goodness.
Now I would like to know. Okay, let's get into some stuff. So Biden did an interview. He had a press conference yesterday. There was all kinds of stuff going on. Have a couple of clips from his interview. In the first clip, he's talking about, they're asking him, are you considering, doing executive actions for the border? Because as you know, how many executive actions did he undo on his first day? Like a
countless. So many, countless. And Mayorkas is on, I mean, we've seen videos of him saying exactly that, and they're proud of it.
Yeah. And so clearly we all know that very easily he has executive powers that he can implement immediately to help ease what's going on at the border. But according to Joe, he just doesn't.
Okay. But you can defy the Supreme Court and cancel people's student debt. What a piece of crap this guy is.
Right?
He's so full of crap.
So
it's unbelievable. People actually believe this guy.
And it doesn't matter how often he lies. And especially because he chooses to lie about such ridiculous stuff, like saying, oh, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. No, you're not. That's been disproven time and again. But because he chooses to lie about simple things, that's how you know you can't trust him about anything.
No, he plagiarized his way through law school. This guy has lied his entire life. His entire adult life has been one giant lie. He's lying right now. He could totally do this. He could redo and undo the things that he undid. And the whole this executive action thing, it's like, of course he could go in there and do this. He's just choosing not to. The question is why?
Why? Well, because he wants all the votes. He wants all the voters. And it's just so transparent. And the fact that he's trying to fudge around it is so gross to me. And what's also gross is that he's playing right into Hamas's hands by all this criticism that he's now doing of Israel. And so every time anybody from the administration criticizes Netanyahu, criticizes the strategy of Israel, it feeds into Hamas's power. And the fact that they don't see that is so vile. So in this next clip, he's talking about what he wants Israel to do, which is to call for a ceasefire, which is what Israel has been doing since the beginning. They've been like, hey, give us our hostages, surrender, and then and then the ceasefire will happen.
Actually, there was a ceasefire on October 6th.
Right.
There was. So they were in a state of ceasefire. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that this is what he says in this interview, it's just
why? I don't understand.
Well, and even if from a humanitarian perspective, they want to, they can't do it because Hamas keeps stealing all of the food. So you can bring in all the aid. It doesn't matter. The Hamas people take over the trucks. They keep everything for themselves, and the Palestinian people keep suffering. And for him to bring up the Jordanians, the Saudis, the Egyptians, they're ready to go in. How about they're ready to accept some of the people they're so worried about?
Exactly. They're like, we don't want these dirty people.
Right?
Give me a break. Yeah, but he would never say that. I mean, Biden would never say the truth because the guy can't say the truth. It's unreal. Yeah, he is. He's emboldening Hamas. This administration, our president is emboldening terrorists.
Yeah.
Period.
And he's doing it because he feels the heat from all of the psychopaths out there in the younger generations who are doing all the protesting.
Yeah, he's
we'll get to because those people are insane.
He has no backbone. He's a giant wuss. He stands for nothing. He just constantly panders. He's giant Mr. Chimbal's pander pants.
And someone said, well, illegals can't vote.
Really?
Come on now.
Seriously?
Come on now. You can think this through. So first of all, I don't know if you've seen that a whole bunch of illegals are able to get IDs, which is basically sometimes all that they need to vote. But that's not even the point. Even if states are monitoring whether or not illegals are trying to vote or not, let's just assume that they are, even though that's crazy. The point of bringing all of these illegals in is to change the actual census data so that highly democratic areas will have more people to count, because the census counts illegals in their count. And then that determines how many representatives from all these areas how many House representatives we get. So, I mean, it's not just about can an illegal go to a poll. It's much deeper than that.
Vote. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that just doesn't really make sense.
Yep.
But Joe Biden feels like the Spanish-speaking community is our future. This is the kind of stuff that I liked Vivek about, because he was always like, why isn't English the national language? This is a no-brainer. We are America, and yet here's what our president says.
They learn English
here.
Yeah, and it's not racist to say that. It's not. I mean,
oh my God.
When we lose our identity as a nation, we lose, period. We just we're already on the downward spiral. We already are, because we're unwilling to say this is who we are. I mean, you go to a Germany or any some other country where they say this is the language that we speak. You don't look at that country and go, oh my God, they are so racist. They're so racist. Yeah, it's because they speak German in Germany. We don't do that. Why is it that people don't do that? But here you say we speak English here, and somehow that's racist. Why?
Yeah.
And we allow that to happen. We allow people to say that we're racist or we're nationalists or whatever. I don't even know what we're xenophobic because we choose to speak English here. Why is it a bad thing? Why?
that should be a common thing that binds a country together.
Exactly.
And clearly Democrats don't want that. They want diversity.
Right. When your parents came here from Poland, did they feel put off because they had to speak English?
No, they couldn't wait to learn it because they melted into the pot, which is how it is supposed to work.
Exactly.
You guys, look at Daisy's hair. Look at how much better it is looking after what? How long have we been using this? Like
probably 3 months, I would think. Yeah. 3-4 months. Yeah.
I feel like it looks sleek and fat and like
it's definitely
so
fatter.
Healthy.
It's so fatter. Like it's getting a little bit longer, but it's so much fatter than it was, you guys. And I had so many layers that were awful, and it was like it was so bad. So bad.
And it is because of this fabulous little gel pack from Healthy Cell, vibrant hair, skin, and nails. Let me just look on their little sheet to tell you exactly what's in it, because I will always forget all of the things that make this work so well. Okay, so first of all, it's the way it absorbs. All Healthy Cell vitamin packs absorb 165% better into your system than a tablet, capsule, or pill. So immediate bonus right away just for the absorption. But what they include is Verisol and collagen, hyaluronic acid, ceramides, vitamin C, vitamin E, biotin, silica, and it all comes in this deliciously yummy raspberry flavor, which makes it seem like a treat and not just a vitamin. So we've had so many testimonials from y'all already that people that have been using it and are seeing a difference. This is the real deal, you guys. And you can get 20% off your first order at Healthy Cell when you go to healthycell.com/chicks and then use code.
And believe me, I've tried everything. Every
all the things.
Last thing. And this is the only
thing. Shelly just gave us the medicine that she's on. It's Fosamax for osteoporosis. She's calling the doc today. So be careful with Fosamax.
I have that. So, I mean, I don't take it, but they've wanted me to take that. So maybe I won't take it. See, this is what I tell you about all the time, Mary, is I'm like, I don't want to take that crap because of I get so worried about the side effects. See, it's real.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, let us know what happens with that.
Yeah.
Rosa Murata, thank you so much. Rosa says English is the universal language. If you go to any hotel in the world, the staff is required to speak English. Well, I mean, I think that's great, but I certainly wouldn't expect it as an English speaker going into a foreign country. I would not expect that. Karen Elliott, thank you. Karen says, stupid as a stupid does. At least the Univision dude is cute. Help Jesus.
He's kind of cute.
He was kind of cute. That's true.
Yeah.
I think Biden also there was a state dinner last night, and Hillary, oh my God, did you see the pictures of what Hillary wore? Hillary Clinton wore
a muumuu. Did she wear a muumuu?
Like it was a Mrs. Roper.
Yeah, she's in her Mrs. Roper phase. She's in her
but
era.
She's been in that phase for a while.
She has been in her muumuu phase for like probably 10 years now. Yeah, it's not a good look. Not a good look.
It was something. And so they were hosting, I think they were hosting the president of Japan. I could be wrong about that.
It was
the president.
Japan.
Okay. So it was the Japanese president and Biden, you know how whenever there's a world leader that comes, there's always a dual press conference and Biden has trouble getting out of those. So this one went on as planned, and he could not do anything without relying on his note cards. You can see them in the reflection of his glasses in this picture. RNC Research put this out saying, watch the reflection in his sunglasses. He's reading the entire answer to pre-called on reporters' questions from his notes because he can't do it without the notes, right?
Oh my gosh.
And it got so embarrassing because when he was trying to answer, or when he was trying to take questions, of course he won't just take them from anybody. There's a whole process, and you can hear him out loud talking about that process right here.
Next question. Who do I call on next? Hang on a second. I got my list here. Hang on. I apologize.
Oh my God.
Aurelia of AFP.
It's just,
it's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing, and it's also like, it's painful to watch.
Yeah.
And anybody that like even remotely pretends to love this guy should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed. Can you imagine if that was somebody that was in your family and they're doing that? I would immediately want to be like, no, we've got to stop this. And yet they're like, no, we really love power so much that we're going to try to make this guy do it for 4 more years. What the hell is wrong with these people? It is elder abuse. It has been elder abuse for the past however many years. Like when he ran the first time, we said it was elder abuse. It is extreme. Like Jill should be ashamed of herself. Totally ashamed. She's disgusting.
The whole family. The whole family, it's just vile
that
they keep propping him up this way. Michael Stellar, thank you. Michael says, we love you, chicks. Please sing Visiting Angels. And I think that timing is appropriate. Angels, America's choice. Home here.
It's the harmony. That's what we lend to Visiting Angels that other people do. You're not going to get that anyplace else, folks. You're not.
Also, Biden was asked a question about inflation and the plans that have been talked about now for months and months and months, which is, oh yeah, it's going to come down and then interest rates are going to come down, and that's not happening. And here's Biden to tell you, oh no, I promise it'll be fine.
Month, you predicted the Federal Reserve would cut interest rates thanks to falling inflation, but today data showed that inflation rose more than expected for the 3rd straight month. So how concerned are you about the fight against inflation stalling, and do you stand by your prediction for a rate cut?
Well, I do stand by my prediction that before the year is out, there'll be a rate cut. This may delay it a month or so. I'm not sure of that. We don't know what the Fed is going to do for certain. But look, we have dramatically reduced inflation from 9% down to close to 3%. We're in a situation where
that's not true.
Situation than we were when we took office, where inflation was skyrocketing, and we have a plan to deal with it. Whereas my opposition talks about 2 things: they just want to cut taxes for the wealthy, raise taxes on other people.
Oh my God!
And so I think they have no plan. Our plan is one I think is so sustainable.
It's just lies upon lies.
Absolute
upon lies.
Yeah, it's remarkable how much he lies. Every single thing he just said was a giant effing lie. All of it. All of it. From the numbers were lies, the plans, all of it lies. We don't have a plan. Dude, you have no idea what you're doing when it comes to the economy. And the fact that he's saying that inflation was down, like it was up when he came in and he's low. What? You think, but this is the thing, is that Democrats will take that and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's reality. What world do you live in?
Not reality. I mean, and that's the thing. All of these elites are like, so, I mean, you can remember, was it Mica that was talking about it the other day? Well, how are we going to get people to just understand that no, it wasn't Mica. Who was it that we were making fun of? Jen Psaki. Remember she was talking. Yeah. And she couldn't believe that it's just this media narrative that things are bad, but really Bidenomics is amazing and everybody should understand that. Why don't we?
It's unreal. It's like it's gaslighting, but at the same time, it's like they are mentally deranged because it's not, they are so detached from reality at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Eugene Heiger, thank you. Eugene says, I can tell you this, ladies, my wife doesn't take Fosamax. She takes vitamin D, magnesium, ultimate bone support by Advanced Bionutritionals 2 a day. She is 68 and doesn't look a day over 45.
Look at that.
So make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
Paula Johnson, thank you. Paula says, bring DVDs and CDs to a local library. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
Do that.
Great suggestion.
I didn't know that was a thing that they wanted.
Yeah, great suggestion.
Okay, I can totally do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting my Tapao,
they
but I'll
put
take
it
other stuff.
They put it in their museum section.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, speaking of inflation, that is a very good segue into what happened yesterday. And that is the reason that the markets tanked and everything was like a big fat negative pile of crap is because inflation is continuing to rise.
Inflation is headed in the wrong direction right now. The latest consumer price report just out shows prices up 3.5%. This over Same time last year, CNN's Rahel Solomon, just looking through it all, just running into the studio to help us out. What are you seeing in this?
Hey, Kate. So, yeah, you put it pretty well there that this is moving in the wrong direction. So 3.5% on an annual basis. To put that in context, that is hotter than what we were expecting and certainly hotter than we saw the month prior. If you look at CPI on a monthly basis, sort of a similar trend there, right? So coming in at 0.4% on a monthly basis. That is also hotter than we were expecting, and it sort of matches what we saw the month prior.
And so
I can't believe CNN is actually reporting that.
Well, CNN had to. I mean, because how do you get around that, right? Like the report comes out, you can't not cover it.
Well, actually, they could, because in the past they would be like, what else can we report about Trump? Like, let's talk about the Stormy Daniels trial for nonstop, 24 hours a day. Because honestly, that's exactly and precisely what I would expect from CNN, rather than them talk about how crappy the economy is, because that's all on Biden.
Yeah. Well, what was even funnier than CNN covering it is MSNBC, because MSNBC, Mica, decided she had a panel that included James Clyburn. And James Clyburn is literally in the middle of talking about how inflation is getting better when the news broke. And so while they're having a conversation and she caps on, like she adds on to it, he's saying all the things, oh, it's getting so much better. And then she adds on to it saying, yeah, I mean, we just need people to understand that it's getting better. And that's when the news hit and she had to break to it. And
oh
it was
my,
the best
it's
thing.
Glorious.
Oh my God, you guys watch.
inflation rates are down and people's incomes are up.
Oh, yeah.
Unemployment is on the decrease. And although we see the prices at the stores costing more money, people are in fact earning greater incomes. So what we've got to do is make sure that people see the policies of the Biden administration, how they affect their everyday lives, and get them to see in his policies that which is real. Not what they may hear on social media. One of the focus group people talked about social media and the misrepresentation, disinformation, all of those things are out there. And that's the battle that we have to fight. And we've got to do a better job of fighting it more effectively.
So I'll validate that. I think the disinformation out there is distorting the entire process. I think social media doesn't help. But there's also a lack of validation that these voters feel. And I'm going to bring in Andrew Ross Sorkin right now because we just got breaking news. The consumer price index increased at a faster than expected pace last month, a signal that inflation remains stubbornly high. Let's bring in Andrew.
Yes, let's bring in Andrew.
Let's bring him in, shall we? Man, Data's a real biatch, isn't she? She's terrible. It's just glorious. You know, she just like crapped her pants right there. She was like, oh God, I'm so uncomfortable because I just pooped my pants. And that was just not what I wanted to hear. God, if we could just change the reality for these people, if we could just change it, we could somehow morph it for them and make them believe something that isn't true. What is that called again? What's that called? Oh, it's called propaganda. That's right. That's right. That's what you're engaging in, MSNBC. God, I hate these people. I hate them. Is that wrong?
Michael Stellar, thank you. Michael says, so the CPI index was wrong, 3.5% over last year, right? I mean, like, I love that they were in the middle of trying to say everything's getting better. And then, C. Douglas, thank you. C. Douglas says he can't remember the truth, but knows the lies. Absolutely, absolutely right.
Exactly.
And then speaking of people just trying to pretend as if reality doesn't exist, there's a Democrat rep out of Illinois by the name of Sorensen who's running for re-election. And the interviewer was asking, you know, can you run on Bidenomics? Like, can you run on this economy? What do you say to people who are feeling the pain? And here's what this clown said.
Polls are showing he's just as unpopular as before, and his handling of the economy has not been good. Is this an economy that you are proud to run for re-election on?
I mean, look, you know, and the previous president said, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? 4 years ago, we didn't have toilet paper, right? We are better off
What?
than we were 4 years ago. We are in the right direction. The price of goods, the the cost of inflation is going down.
Is it? Every time that one of these yahoos starts with, all right, look,
Well,
you know that a lie is coming. It's coming.
Right?
And it came right. You guys didn't have toilet paper 3.5
We didn't have
years ago.
That was due to the Trump economy.
It was
really?
totally due to-
There was
yeah,
no
it was
other reason
Trump.
for a lack of toilet paper.
Totally Trump. Yeah. God, what a bunch of jackholes these people are.
Oh my God. It's just, yeah, I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. They say the stuff. I would have loved for that news breaking to have happened right in the middle of that interview too. That would have been just absolutely
And for the
priceless.
record, I had toilet paper. I was fine. I don't know about you guys. I was fine.
Well, I remember the struggle, but it certainly had nothing to do with economic issues. It had to do with people losing their shit.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And absolutely acting like psychopaths, buying in bulk. But
yeah,
why-
and that was
why
all
would we
because
let
of the
pesky
government.
facts-
That was all because of the government scaring people and telling people they had to do certain things. That's all on them. Exactly.
You guys, I just watered my jade plant. See him? Look at how good it's doing. I looked up.
Are you sure you're not misgendering him?
Well, that's true. I'm sorry, Mr. Plant, Ms. Plant, if I'm misgendering you. But I feel like it's a he, and I feel like he's doing really, really well. Like he's
doing
starting to
great.
sprout beyond just the heart shape.
He is.
He's
very
starting
cute.
to sprout and really, I mean, he's thriving.
He
and
is.
that is one of the amazing things that I got from fastgrowingtrees.com. It's one of my favorite things next to my lilac tree outside, which is also thriving, even though Indiana weather is freaking all over the place and it'll be like deep freeze one day and 70 degrees the next day. It makes no sense. And that lilac tree from Fast Growing Trees is like, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to be fine.
So is my avocado tree. It's like, it is growing great. It's doing awesome.
And then, Fast Growing Trees, because they're like the biggest online nursery ever. They have just a gajillion different kinds of plants, outdoor and indoor, that you can choose from. And if you're somebody like me who's not good at taking care of plants at all, they make it so easy. And they provide like online and phone support if you want to call and ask questions or look up questions about the specific plant that you've gotten. And then if you don't even know what plant to get, they make it so easy because they put you in a zone or a region based on your location. So they know Indiana climate, they know what zone that is, and they know what plants or trees or bushes or flowers or whatever are going to thrive in my area. This is why they have over 2 million happy customers in the United States, including us. And they have really fantastic deals right now online, up to half off on select plants. And because you are a Chicks on the Right watcher, you can also save an additional 15% by using code CHICKS at fastgrowingtrees.com. Fastgrowingtrees.com. Check them out. We have been super happy with them. You will be too. Fastgrowingtrees.com. All right, let's go on to some Trumpiness, shall we? Trump was in rare form yesterday, and he had a very, very nice reception at an Atlanta Chick-Fil-A, which we'll get to in just a second. But next to the Trump plane, he was talking to reporters, and he also had gotten the news about inflation, and he responded to it.
Inflation gets under control between now and November. Biden has totally lost control of inflation. It's back. It's raging back. The number today was very high, very bad. It's actually much higher because they exclude various categories. It's actually much higher than that. The number is out of control. Biden has no idea what the hell he's doing. He's the worst president in the history of our country.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He could not be less wrong.
I mean, and it's nice to see a guy. It's nice to see Trump being able to walk without help.
Upstairs. He uses the long stairs on his plane.
I mean, it's just a nice change. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of shuffle,
Yes.
Do the whole like Tim Conway on the Carol Burnett show shuffle.
What was that guy's name? What was his name?
Mr. Wiggins? Is that his
No,
name?
that was her name.
That was
Mrs. Hawiggins.
Mrs. Hawiggins. What was his name? Do you guys remember?
I don't remember.
From the Carol Burnett show.
Oh my God, I love
He is that guy. Is when he shuffles, that's all I can think of is that guy and how he made fun of because he doesn't walk anymore.
Yes, Mr. Tudball.
Mr. Tudball. Thank you, Kenny. He's Mr. Tudball. It's ridiculous.
God, I love that. Trump also made a comment about the Arizona abortion Supreme Court ruling, and he seems confident that Arizona is going to sort this out.
Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out. And as you know, it's all about states' rights. That'll be straightened out. And I'm sure that the governor and everybody else are going to bring it back into reason, and that will be taken care of, I think, very quickly.
What do you think about Florida?
Florida's probably maybe going to change also. See, it's all it's the will of the people. This is what I've been saying. It's a perfect system. So for 52 years, people have wanted to end Roe v. Wade to get it back to the states. We did that. It was an incredible thing, an incredible achievement. We did that, and now the states have it, and the states are putting out what they want. It's the will of the people. So Florida's probably going to change. Arizona's going to definitely change. Everybody wants that to happen. And you're getting the will of the people. It's been pretty amazing when you think.
New inflation numbers came out.
Again, he's not wrong. I mean, that's how it should be. Constitutionally, we've said that over and over again. He is following the Constitution, which is what he should be doing, and it should be the will of the people, and it should be in the hands of the states. That's how it should be.
It's interesting too, because if you look at Arizona, it's Katie. What's her name? Katie. What's the governor's name?
I know you're talking. It's Katie, the one with the whiny voice. Katie.
Yeah.
Katie whiny voice lady.
Katie whiny voice.
Yeah.
It's just awful, but a Democrat. I believe the Attorney General, also a Democrat. The legislature, I believe, is Democrat controlled, although there are some Republicans. So they literally have no reason not to just pass whatever legislation they want to pass to stop this. But I don't know that they will. Yes, Katie Hobbs. I don't know that they will, because I think they want to use this and milk it for as long as they can, even though they have the power to change what the Supreme Court said. And they can say, we're by executive order, by law, we're saying no one shall be prosecuted for this, or we're making new exceptions for rape and incest, whatever they want to do. They have the power to do it. And so the fact that they may not, or that they're going to wait until the last minute, I don't know what they're going to do, but I have a feeling they're going to try to milk this as much as they can before they actually do something.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right.
I mean,
I think you could be onto something. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's very, very shady, all of it. Okay, I mentioned Trump, that he had a very nice reception at a Chick-Fil-A. Just wanted to share it with everybody, and there's more to this. Like, they loved him.
Yeah, the faces, they're beaming.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is the Lord's chicken. I mean, it was just a great interaction, all of it.
Good-looking people, wow. That was worth it. And I love those, what you have. That's beautiful, wow. It's art, right? How you doing, everything okay? So can I have 30 milkshakes? And also some chicken. I'm going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You making a lot of money? Everyone can get rich, right? Excellent. Thank you very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves, okay? Good. Thank you very much, everybody.
I mean, that's sweet.
Hello. This has got a great American franchise, Chick-fil-A.
It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who's a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic. And yeah, they do very well. They're closed on Sunday.
It's the Lord's chicken.
That's the Lord's chicken. You're right. It's good chicken, too.
Yeah, good to see you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. I love that so much. That was great.
Yeah, it was great. And there was another moment too, where one of those women from behind the counter wanted to get a picture, and there was a sweet exchange between the two of them too. It was cute.
Yeah.
It was
but
really,
people
really
hate
cute.
him, you know?
Yeah, he's so racist. I mean, God, he's awful.
Absolutely.
Right?
Like
so
the most
racist.
so racist. Yeah.
And then you found this flashback clip that's just super cute of the 2016 campaign, where a child that clearly looks a lot like him is given to him at the podium. Not given to him, but like given to him to hold.
Right.
It wasn't like a child sacrifice or anything.
Yeah.
And it's just the cute. He's such a cute little kid. This is adorable.
What's your name?
Name.
Now, he's supposed to look like Donald Trump, but he's actually much too good looking. You are really handsome. Are you having a good time tonight?
Night.
Where's your
So
daddy?
cute.
And your mommy, right? Do you want to go back? Do you want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Trump.
I mean, seriously, how cute is that? Was that
So
not the
cute.
cutest?
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love
I
it.
thought that was cute. This is the kind of stuff you don't see. They don't
No,
show the stuff.
They don't want to show that
'Cause
stuff.
they don't want to show that side of him. Remember, that's the Trump that we all knew. I put a clip from Saturday Night Live back in 2004 on our Instagram. If you're interested in it, go check out our Instagram at Chicks on Right. And it's so funny. He was hilarious in it. He plays like a plumber and he's making fun of himself and it's hysterical. And that's when they loved him.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. Everybody in Hollywood loved him before he put an R next to his name. I mean, don't forget that. There was a time where that guy was, I mean, they thought he was great. He was hysterical and he did all the things. And now it's like, oh my God, we loathe him. He's the worst thing. He's racist. He's this, he's that. Yeah, because he's a conservative. He's a Republican. That's why.
Sherry Fox, thank you. Sherry says this is a starter fund for Mock to hire Daisy to come in and clean house before the move.
I will do it. I will totally do it.
Need help.
I just need a weekend. I'm
Oh my
like
God.
the Energizer Bunny. I will get it done.
There are 24 years of accumulation in this house.
And she will be crying. Like she'll be like, oh God. And she'll be going through boxes. She needs somebody to help her with the practical stuff while she mentally breaks down.
It's so
This
true.
is what she needs.
It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for my name today is because Maxine Waters said some really stupid shit. So I had to share it again. Is there any time that she speaks where she's not doing that?
No.
This is unbelievable. So she's talking about being approached in a restaurant by someone who doesn't say anything racist to her, but is clearly racist according to her. Here is what she said.
As a member of Congress with people, who evidently had a racist attitude, and recently one even confronted me in a restaurant. And they don't say racist things, but what they say is they don't like something I said. They don't like a position that I took. But that, if you were not Black,
oh my
you would
God.
not be approached that
Right.
way.
They probably would not. Right. They don't think twice about doing it. They think that they can get away with doing it with you.
Give me a break. You are weak. Yeah, because we don't do it with AOC. We don't do it with all. Give me a break. It's such a cop-out. You are so weak when you say that.
I mean, of course. And for her to say, well, I mean, they had the audacity to criticize what I said and my positions. That's America. We're
Not only
allowed
that,
to do that with anybody, and it has nothing to do with skin color.
Right. But
Nothing.
it's also her job. That's her job. That's the nature of her job. You're supposed to be answering to people, your constituents and otherwise. That is your literal job, is to answer to people. And people are going to have a problem with what you say and what you do a lot of the time. So if you don't like that, maybe you should step down and let somebody who has the cojones do it.
She's never going to step down because she's
Good
also
Lord.
728. And she's been in office for
1,000 years.
6,000 years. Yes.
Yeah, she has.
And let's not
Mica.
forget, she can be like, oh my God, somebody approached me in a restaurant. Really? Weren't you encouraging that very thing?
Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
People. Okay, so you can do that to everybody else, just not to her because of the melanin content in her skin.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Understand. You guys know the rules now? You get the rule book?
You got it?
Got the addendum to
Makes
that?
sense?
Yeah. All right.
It's just so ridiculous.
Unreal.
So really, this grouping of videos is just about how dumb the Democrat Party is and all the members of it.
It's
and
long.
Yeah, I actually had to shorten this down a lot.
I really did. Yeah.
But AOC also was recently on one of the night shows, and she was talking about this whole student loan forgiveness stuff. And we told you yesterday that, and we played the clip from Kamala saying, "Oh, this has nothing to do with your income. This is, you could be making a gajillion, skillion, $1 billion a year. You're still going to get student loan forgiveness, and you're going to get it even if you didn't graduate." So when the Democrats then try to turn around and say, "Oh, we just care so much about the people who are struggling," bullshit. It's all bullshit. That's why this entire clip of AOC is bullshit.
Anywhere.
People getting the student loan forgiveness.
And oh gosh, those people really want to be able to travel abroad. We should totally pay for all their student debt because they want to travel abroad, you guys. They want to go to Paris. So Lord knows I should have to pay for their ridiculous debt that they took on for their social whatever degree, their gender studies degree. That's absolutely worthless. Thank God I have to take that on so they can go travel abroad. Like,
right?
What kind of absolute nonsensical garbage is that? It's unreal.
Kristen Thompson, thank you. Kristen says, "Mock, call Habitat for Humanity. They will come and pick up any furniture, kitchen stuff, decor, etc. And they give a receipt for taxes. Good luck packing." I love that idea.
That's a great idea.
Especially if they come to me.
Habitat for Humanity.
Amazing.
It's a great one.
Okay.
I didn't know they did that. I didn't know they did furniture and stuff.
Thank you, Kristen. And Charity Inglis, thank you. Charity says, "Moved in 22, 3 days, dumpsters full, and 9 pickup truckloads to GW. So freeing. Downsized from 5,600 square feet. Holy shit, that's a big house. To 2,400. It was great getting rid of all that stuff we didn't need. Empty nesting."
It really is.
I would not even know what to do with that amount of space.
Like when we moved from our house in Indy to here, we got rid of a lot of stuff too. It was great. Like it was because we had to live in a cabin, like a 600 square foot cabin for 9 months. And then we moved here and it was really great. Just kind of, I'm a minimalist anyway. I don't like a lot of stuff. I don't like clutter. And so I just wanted to get rid of a lot of clutter. And when you have 3 kids, you cannot help but get a bunch of clutter. You get a lot of their stuff and they're like, "Mom and Dad, can you just hold this for me? I'm going to go live in California and I need you to hold like these hockey sticks." You know what I mean? You get a bunch of crap of theirs. And then you're like, "Can you just take this back? If not, we're putting it in a dumpster," So this is what happens. It's nice.
My gosh. Thank you. Thank you for all of the advice. Appreciate it. Kamala recently did an appearance, and I'm not going to name the podcast. You'll see the name of it on the screen when I show the video of Kamala with these 2 beastly, horrific hags. I cannot stand these 2 women. They are just the most miserable people.
They are miserable.
The most joyless, angry, liberal, typical beastly hags. And of course, Kamala chose their podcast to go and visit. And there's 2 clips that I'll show. Both of them are pretty short. But in the first one, it cracks me up because it's another one of those moments where Kamala repeats something about democracy that she believes is very profound. You can tell when she uses that sort of cadence and tone where she believes that she's saying something extraordinary, profound. It's all just word salad nonsense, which is typical Kamala. The clip right after that, and I'll just let them play together, is of her talking. They're asking her, "How do you feel about book bans?" As if Democrats have not been the perpetrators of so many book bans. They like to believe that this is a conservative thing. Oh, no. There's been like attempts to get rid of To Kill a Mockingbird. All kinds of books have been the subject of Democrat ire. So it's just a bullshit question, but that's typical for these hag women.
Those women have ever read a book.
I'll just let these 2 clips run back to back.
Important to see that, the nature of democracy, there's a duality to it. It has 2 sides to it. On the one hand, there's incredible strength, right? That when a democracy is intact, what it does for its people, in terms of the strength it gives its people and protects in terms of individual freedoms and rights, right? And liberties. There's an incredible strength in that, what it does for its people when it is intact. On the other hand, democracy, extraordinarily fragile.
Yeah.
It's only as strong as our willingness to fight.
So much Botox on that stage.
That's by nature what a democracy is. It is about the people. All right, had it or hit it, book bans. Oh God, had it. Again, the idea that you would restrict information,
pearl clutching,
like COVID information?
And the same people who are doing that are some of the same people who are denying our history. I mean, are trying to kind of just whitewash it, and I think it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
these people are idiots.
I know.
My
right?
God,
she's like, "What? My God, you would restrict information from Americans? What? Who does that?
There's no self-awareness. Just
None.
zero.
None at all. So much Botox on that stage. Did you see it?
A lot of Botox.
I mean, a lot of stuff going on there. Like
a lot of frozen faces.
Just a lot of cut it or hit it. What? Are you okay? Are you okay in there? It's like, hello. Hello.
Can you move your forehead?
Hello.
Blink twice.
If you're in there. You okay?
My God.
Good Lord.
All right, let's talk about foreign affairs for a little while, because Tom Cotton made a point that you actually made in this very show earlier in this very show, which is, why should Israel, who has been attacked by not the nation of Gaza, because it's not a nation, but by Gaza, why should Israel then be required or expected to provide humanitarian aid to the very people who attacked them?
It doesn't
answer to that.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why this is we don't require that of anybody else. So
exactly.
Why are we asking that 6 months in of Israel when they were attacked on
and when they still have hostages?
They still have hostages.
Who are American,
right? Why are we requiring that of them all of a sudden? It's freaking whack.
Well, Tom Cotton asked that question to Lloyd Austin, who had a little bit of difficulty answering it.
You talked a lot with Senator Reid about Israel's responsibility to provide aid in Gaza. Why does Israel have a responsibility to provide aid to Gaza? Israel was the victim of an unprovoked, vicious attack on October 7th. Why should they provide aid to the aggressor nation? Or aggressor, Gaza's not a nation, to the aggressors on October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't provide aid to Germany and Japan during World War II.
Exactly.
What we did provide aid to and assistance to many of the countries that we've operated in recently.
But not in World War II. If you had been in George Marshall's or Dwight Eisenhower's position in World War II, would you have wanted to provide aid to Germany?
And the story.
Right?
It
a good question.
It's a great question, and he has a hard time answering it because he knows that it's completely bogus.
And that Israel is always held to different standards.
Always. Because they're Jews. Mm-hmm. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of the double standard. I'm sick of it. If you think that this is okay, then you probably are an anti-Semite. Honestly, that's how I feel. And I'm not, I will die on that hill. I will. Because it's so ridiculous, the double standard that they get. It's insane.
And the people that are pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, protesting on behalf of those causes, they have become more and more aggressive, disgusting, hostile, dangerous. These people are lunatics. And of course, it includes the people that are involved in Code Pink, who have been making a practice lately of trying to accost Josh Hawley outside of his office. He was on Fox News to talk about that.
Joining me now, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. Senator, they, for the most part, are following around the Biden campaign, and I believe there'll be a pretty big presence at the Democratic National Convention this summer. What's their beef with you here?
Well, their beef with me is that I'm pro-Israel. I mean, that's the long and the short of it, Laura. And I have to tell you, I really enjoyed the exchange because when you point out to them that they are funded by China, Code Pink are paid for protesters funded by the Chinese Communist Party. Their money comes from China. It's laundered through a bunch of dark money groups, and then it goes to Code Pink. These are people who can't even admit that the Uyghurs are in internment camps, concentration camps, and yet they say that Israel is a terrorist state. Give me a break. And these guys, it is AstroTurf wackos is what these guys are, and it's time they got called out.
I love that. AstroTurf wackos. He's right. He's 100% correct.
Mm-hmm. But these, I mean, Code Pink is just one little tiny faction of a much larger problem. And these people are absolute lunatics who are supporting other lunatics. And there's no better example than the Hamas leader himself, who was videotaped finding out that he lost 3 sons and a grandson to the IDF. So 3 sons and a grandson were killed by Israeli Defense Forces, and he was captured on video finding that out. You won't understand him, obviously, because whatever he's speaking, whatever. But he has zero emotion about it, and in fact says it's a huge honor to have his family members martyred. The video is like, it really gives you a sense of how psychotic this entire group of people are. They're insane. Like that they won't feel anything. There's no humanity.
3 sons and a grandson. Bye.
So he's basically praising Allah for martyring his family members because he's a lunatic.
He's like, no, it's fine. Let's go have lunch. Unbelievable.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
it is. It's unbelievable.
Yasser Ali was tweeting about this and saying there were a couple people asking, well, maybe this is a cultural thing. Is the lack of emotion a cultural thing? And it's not. He says nothing could be further from the truth. Arab men and Middle Eastern men in general are very expressive, very emotive when in mourning. They have no shame in crying openly. You can see that in the many heartbreaking videos of Palestinian fathers in Gaza openly mourning the killings of their kids due to Israeli airstrikes. This guy is just a psychopath.
Yeah. And then imagine how he treats women. How a
Oh
lot
my
of them
God.
treat women. Like,
Right?
don't even get me started on that. It's like that culture and their treatment of women is just, to me, it's unforgivable.
Yeah. I mean, the entire I'm not putting any exceptions on it because I just don't think there are people who are actively protesting in support of Palestinians all fall into this category. They are evil. They're evil because they don't understand, first of all, what they're protesting about. But secondly, the methods that they use to protest are so vile. Here's another example. So at Berkeley, there was a group of law students that had accepted an invitation to have dinner at a private home of the dean with his wife. They were hosting this dinner. This is a tradition that they've had. And his wife is the law professor. And they chose that opportunity to grab a mic and disrupt the dinner, and then refused to leave. The chick in this is trying to say, well, her behavior is protected by the First Amendment. It most certainly is not. This is a private home that she's doing this at.
Not only from its legal substance,
This is not your
that's
house.
not only
It is
from its
my
legal
house.
substance.
I would physically remove her
You
out.
never leave my house. Okay, you don't have to get
Excuse
aggressive.
me.
I'm not
Please leave our house. You are guests at our house.
That's our First Amendment right.
No,
This is our First
this is
Amendment.
my house.
It is.
Bye.
The National Lawyers Guild has informed us this is our.
Oh my God. I would physically remove her. Like, I can't.
It's just
Don't get
disgusting.
aggressive. Are you kidding? You're in my house.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and you've been invited here.
Right.
And now you're being asked to GTFO. So you
Yes.
immediately do that. Otherwise, you're immediately trespassing.
Exactly.
Right?
And you're
So-
immediately gonna have hands thrown. If you don't get out of my
Throwing
house
of
when
hands.
I ask you to leave and you don't leave, hands are gonna be thrown.
Yeah.
Like, it's not okay. Like, this First Amendment? No.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So they've been doing this for several years, and so and the statement from the dean, he was talking about how there was this poster that was posted on social media and on bulletin boards in the law school. It was a caricature of him holding a bloody knife and fork, and the words on it said, "No dinner with Zionist chem while Gaza starves." And so obviously that was super anti-Semitic and he was horrified by it. But he writes that, this is a freedom of speech. This is on a publicly funded campus. He didn't do anything about it. It just hurt his heart. But that actually is freedom of speech is just absolutely disgusting. So he goes on to say that this did not stop him from, of course, hosting the dinner. And then he talked about how 60 students came. They had all registered in advance. They were seated at tables in the backyard. And while dinner was being eaten, that woman stood up with the microphone, got up on the top step, and just started this huge speech about the plight of the Palestinians. And so this is it's supposed to be just a celebration for grad students, and it's completely ruined by the psychopath. And he continued to say these dinners are going to go forward on Wednesday and Thursday. Good. He hopes that there won't be any more disruptions. He's now going to have security present, but that it just sucks that this is how these people act.
And you
it's
know
ridiculous.
What? It changed zero minds.
Right, of course.
It changed. Like if she thinks that getting up there and acting like a complete freaking lunatic is going to change minds, she is 1,000% wrong.
Yeah.
It's not. If anything, it just makes her look even more rabid, and it makes people it makes people go further to the other. It makes people go, I don't want any part of that. You are, in fact, a lunatic, and I don't want to be part of that at all. Like this, I don't. Their methods are ridiculous.
It's like the climate change people that block traffic. Right?
Exactly like
or
it.
throw paint on the museum art.
100%, Mock. 100%. I don't understand. Their methods are stupid. They look ridiculous.
Well, unfortunately, as much as I've wanted to believe that it's a small group of weirdos, maybe on each campus, this is a much bigger problem than I think we've all realized. And there's a video that's now circulating about a massive global disruption planned for April 15th, which of course is just a few days away.
4 days.
And so this is terrifying. And I don't put it past, because especially in Europe, these groups of people are humongous. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos of the protests happening in other countries. There are hundreds of thousands of these whack jobs. And here is what they are planning.
On April 15th, people across 4 continents will launch an economic blockade in solidarity with Palestine. Through this coordinated mobilization, we will jam up trade choke points and disrupt the global economy. 30 cities and counting have joined the effort. This comes as Yemen is bombed to secure global trade routes, and billions of dollars continue to fund the occupation. The time has come to open up new fronts against the Zionist war machine. It's time for collective risk. The global movement for Palestine has been gaining unprecedented momentum. What is happening in Gaza is unbearable, and we know that symbolic actions are not enough. We must escalate. As Palestinians face one brutal atrocity after another, we've watched them respond with collective resilience and fortitude. They inspire us to action. Their pain is our rage. For this, we are organizing and coordinating, and on April 15th, we will disrupt global logistical hubs and will clog flows of capital worldwide. In Melbourne, Australia, Taipei, Taiwan, Genoa, Italy, Catalonia, Spain, Miami, Oakland, London, Athens, Greece.
I don't know how, because when it's that organized in that many places, that's exactly the kind of crisis that, it's one thing to watch a bridge collapse in Baltimore and wonder, was that an accident? Was it something that was a dry run for something bigger? When they're outwardly saying, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
And we have backup upon backup if police try to get in the way.
Yeah.
This sounds like something that requires a full U.S. military response.
Right.
Honestly.
It's like, and we're all going to have each other's backs. We're not going to cooperate. It's like, and there are so many people that are involved, and they're here. And listen, our borders have been wide freaking open for 3 years now, just wide freaking open. I mean, imagine the people that are here that are just salivating to get involved in something like this. It's, it's great. And I saw, listen, San Antonio and Houston, they're right next to me. It's like, I'm watching that going, oh, well, that's great. That's freaking great. So I'm sure you guys saw cities in there that were near you. It's probably not even limited to those cities. This is crazy. And what
do they think they're going to accomplish? It's not as if, they might disrupt things, but that disruption is not going to change minds.
It won't change minds, but I think a lot of this is just there's so much unrest and they want power. And eventually I think that a lot of these people look at the long game, and the long game is, like I said before, death to America. They just want so badly to kill this country, and they're already doing it because people are letting them. And when you say, when you ask the question, do they not know, can they not pinpoint like a particular group or people who are doing this? Well, listen, we've been talking for years about how like the entities like the FBI and the CIA, they're too busy looking at conservative people that are like church-going people who go to school board meetings, just trying to see what's going on with our kids. They're too busy targeting people like us, and they're focused on that instead of this stuff. So I don't have a lot of faith in those entities to make sure that my family's safe and that your family's safe. And it just makes me really worried that no, they're not focusing on the right things, and that they don't have our backs. So
that's 4
just
days
be warned
away,
about.
guys.
Listen, whether or not it happens, I don't know, but just know that stuff is out there. And that video was a pretty well thought out.
It was produced,
and produced video. So somebody did that.
And it's just, the whole thing is terrifying. Elizabeth Boyer, thank you. Elizabeth said, "Good morning. Mr. Tudball wasn't the shuffling old man." Well, who was it?
I thought that was
what
Mr.
was his
Tudball.
name? I thought that was his name. The book bans were brought up because of all the sexual books in schools by nasty pedophiles.
Right.
But the fact that they're trying to pin book bans on conservatives is the problem.
Is ridiculous.
And that's the point that we were trying to make.
Right. Because they say that a lot of books like Huck Finn and stuff like that, they're racist. And so they took a lot of books out of school, To Kill a Mockingbird, things like that. So they kind of started it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Andrea Viola, thank you. Andrea says this is what tolerance brings, right? I mean, and the numbers of these psychopaths is just growing and growing and growing. It's terrifying.
And I have no tolerance for somebody that screams death to America, and none of us should have that. None of us should tolerate that. Why should we tolerate that?
And this is all part of, this can all be tied to a much larger global plan, right? When we look back at the World Economic Forum and that disgusting weirdo, Klaus Schwab, who always says things out loud, and then people just, it's like people just aren't paying attention, but they're very clearly hoping and working towards creating more chaos, more crises. And they want to scare you into thinking that these are not organized and made by design. They absolutely are. And the fact that he's praising leaders like Justin Trudeau as somebody who's like one of the future saviors is just more evidence of how corrupt and psychopathic this organization is.
The young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this cabinet, are actually young noble leaders of the World Economic Forum. We penetrate the cabinets.
The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us. We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare? Take the necessary action to create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset.
That people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
There is only one way this pandemic is going to go. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
The next crisis is already waiting for us around the corner, and it is the climate crisis.
God, that guy is so freaking evil.
Oh my God.
I mean, he should have a mustache that he twirls.
He's just the most evil. He is a cartoon. He's a caricature that belongs in like the scariest of horror movies.
Absolutely. He is just gross. And his son doesn't he have a son that is like going to take over? Isn't he the guy that, or is that, no, that's the other one.
Soros.
It's Soros. Soros is the one with the son too. They're both evil. Like they're two. And you know what? And the worst part about it is they're liberal. They're commie liberals who want to basically take over the world. And so why do people like these? Like, why do they allow this to happen? Why?
Because they really do believe there was a line in that that presentation that said, you will own nothing and be happy. And I think socialists, commies, liberals, they believe that. They believe that if the government provides them with what they need, they'll be happy. But they don't understand that the government will only ever be able to provide misery for everyone.
Right.
Because you do run out of other people's money.
It's the Harrison Bergeronification of the world, right?
Yes.
If you guys have ever read the short story by Kurt Vonnegut, Harrison Bergeron, like read it. And that's basically what's happening. But yeah, and he said fairness. It's all about fairness. Life isn't fair.
Exactly. And then I threw this in at the end just because it does relate to international affairs. And it's just an awesome clip of Rand Paul saying what's what when it comes to funding Ukraine.
The money going to Ukraine in this bill is more than we spend on the entire Marine Corps. Think about it. We're going to send to Ukraine more money than we spend on our own Marine Corps. This is a bill about Ukraine first. This is a bill that makes us weaker. There is no money to give to Ukraine. It's not like we've got a pot of money. There is no surplus. There is no rainy day fund. This money will be printed up or borrowed from China to send to Ukraine. It makes us weaker.
Why are we doing this?
This is hard.
We've been doing this for 2 years, right? Just 2 years of just endless flow of money so we can pay their pensions. And then we will not have Social Security. What the hell are we doing? And yet this administration will be like, Israel has got to pay for Hamas to what is happening? I don't understand. But there's zero accountability when it comes to just like so much money being poured into Ukraine. I don't understand. Somebody's got to like explain this to me.
It doesn't, you don't understand it because it doesn't make any actual sense. That's the problem. Meg Prescott, thank you. Meg says, Mr. Tudball was the dude with the bad Swedish accent and the boss of Mrs. Huygens. That's right. The old guy is the oldest man, aka Dwayne Toddleberry, both the result of the comedic genius that is Tim Conway. I don't remember the Dwayne Toddleberry character.
Tim Conway, is he still alive? He's not still alive, is he?
I don't think so. Is he?
Is he passed away? Now I have to know too. I have to know because he is a comedic genius. I miss that.
No, he died in 2019.
He did. I miss that age of comedy, you guys. You know who still is alive is Carol Burnett. I saw her on our spring break. I saw her on the Kelly Clarkson show in an interview, and she's on a new show.
Get out!
She's like 92 years old or something. She's in her 90s, and she's on a new show with Kristen Wiig and a couple other people. And she plays like the grandma. And she's such a gem. She's like a national treasure, right? I just remember.
I do remember Mr. Toddleberry was the super, super old guy that could barely speak. Remember that Tim Conway played with the white hair?
Vaguely.
And he was a big shuffler too. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's who we think Biden is right now. He's a shuffler.
Yes. Mayorkas had himself a day yesterday. He was in more Senate hearings and did not go well for him. Now, I don't think that the Senate is going to impeach him or convict him of the impeachment. He's already been impeached by the House. But Senator Kennedy and then also Representative Cloud had some things to say to him, and it did not go well for Mayorkas.
It gives me no joy to say this, but most Republicans don't trust you. And a vast majority of the American people don't trust you. That's why you've been impeached.
Could you speak to any authorities that Congress has removed from you or the president since taking office?
Congressman,
has
you mentioned
Congress removed any authorities from you or the president since you've taken office?
Congressman, the point
that's a yes or no question.
Congressman, the point that you make with respect to Border Patrol agents is exactly why
you're filibustering. I asked you a yes or no question.
Right.
Congressman, the point that you make
Congress removed any authorities from you or the president since you've taken office?
Congressman, the point that you make with respect to Border
Patrol agents. The answer is
agents,
no. I'd also make the point that you have approximately 20% larger budget than Trump had.
I hate him.
I hate him too. I
hate him. Where do they get these people? How do they find such inept, awful, insufferable people? Where do they find them? honestly, like he would never last a day in the private sector, not a day. And the work that he's done to just completely like throw us off a cliff, he wouldn't even be like serving fast food in the real world. But this guy just keeps getting a check from the American people, just keeps getting a check. He's going to get a great pension. He's going to get it's just, my blood pressure goes up when I think about it. He's just like a Fauci, no accountability, none, zero. I mean, you work in the federal government, you don't have to be held accountable because you just keep getting our money because we have to pay it. God knows.
And the way that he does filibuster is so aggravating.
It is.
I can't imagine being one of the people trying to get him to just answer a yes or no question. I can't imagine.
God. Can you imagine being married to that guy? Like, did you take the trash out? Well, wife. Let me be clear. Did you, yes or no? Did you take the trash out? Oh
the
my God.
question that you're asking me needs some thoughtful consideration.
This isn't hard. Oh my God. Just my fist form. I can't.
But you asked where they find these people, and that leads to our next clip, which is of Tiffany Henyard, that insane Illinois mayor, who I don't know how she still continues to have this job, but she does. And now she's got a podcast. She's doing all this social media stuff. And you guys, you can barely understand what in the hell she's even saying. But this is an actual mayor that was elected by actual people to run an actual town.
I can't.
And I watch this and I'm just like, we are in the middle of idiocracy.
Yeah, this is happening.
But Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching, and y'all went and got my site shut down. My Tiffany on the Move podcast. Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast. Well, it's said that when truth speaks, everybody gets scared and everybody gets to running. Well, just like I told you, if you want the tea, get it from me. And if you want to check me out, because I got other platforms, go to Spotify. And that way you'll see Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast. Yes, Spotify. And you can also go to Apple Podcasts, because those are different outlets to view all the content. And y'all asked me for the receipt, but I got the receipts right here on ice, like I always do. Y'all asked for it, and I'm about to deliver. I got episode after episode after episode. Just wait your turn. Yeah, your turn coming. Just wait. Y'all doing all that talking. Y'all doing all that lying. And I told y'all, stop lying on me before I start telling the truth on y'all. And that's what this is. Truth speaks right here. Residents, community, nation, y'all gonna be shocked at the mess that's all around y'all. But I want to educate people in my delivery of receipts that y'all thought I didn't have. I always keep my receipts. I mean, I do a lot of talking, or it may come out a little slower than norm, but I keep receipts. That way I can educate the world as what happens behind the scenes that y'all don't see. I don't like fake news, because fake news tell you one-sided narratives. They don't tell you the truth. As you can see, you saw that first one. First one was lit, wasn't it? It was off the chain. And the problem I got is, when they do it, it's cool. But when I do it, it's a problem. But this how I see it in my head. Play the video.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
What is happening? It's like there's closed captioning for the Tiffany impaired. I don't understand. Like, did you notice? I mean, it's like they have to.
I needed it. I needed that.
I did too. I otherwise I would have been lost. God, she is dumber than a stick.
Oh my God, it's embarrassing. And
it is.
She has absolutely used this job to enrich herself in multiple ways. And why they don't just send in the FBI. Granted, the FBI is very, very busy with conservatives right now.
Yeah, it's like they're too busy looking at us, right?
But like how they don't just immediately go and ransack her entire house, raid her office, and put that woman in jail, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But this is a woman that they elected.
Well, this is our country, man. She is a microcosm for a bigger problem. And that, I mean, if you didn't think that our country was careening off a cliff and like this is the decay, this is like culture rot and decay, and our country just going, it's like spiraling the drain. This is it. We're in the midst of the spiral. You know what I mean? Tiffany's part of the big spiral. Here we go. We're getting sucked down. This is it. We're in it. We're living it. We're watching.
We are, and it's evident in so many places. There was a Fulton County in Georgia. There was a Fulton County like city council meeting or county meeting, and it just went off the rails because even in this meeting, the way that the members treat one another, I mean, it's just like you cannot even believe that these are grown ass adults, but this is how they're behaving. Watch.
We got a signed letter of intent. Shut up.
Just come on. Just a minute.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Just a minute.
You're not talking to me.
Shut
You're
up.
not talking to me.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
It's my time.
Make
It's
me.
my time.
Make me shut up.
It's my time.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Is that off?
No, it's not off.
I mean,
that's right. This is
what is happening?
These aren't serious adult. These aren't people. These aren't adults. Like, remember when I was growing up, if you were in public office, you at least had some level of decorum. We have fallen so far
gone.
as a country. It's gone. I don't know if we're ever going to get it back. I just don't know if you can like put that toothpaste back in the tube. Like, we are so gross now.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and then I get crap for calling Joe Biden chin balls. And I'm like, have you seen what's going on like in our actual world? Like, I'm just a podcaster. You know, I'm not in office. Like, look, seriously, like liberals will come at me and they're like, oh my God, who can take you seriously for calling Joe Biden chin balls? And I'm like, have you looked at your side of the aisle? Have you taken a hard look at what's happening? Because it's a joke. It's a complete joke. And if we didn't joke every day about this stuff, it would be devastatingly depressing.
We have to. That's why we do what we do. We have to
joke about it.
Humor in it.
We got to joke about it. Yeah.
We have to, especially because in the midst of all this and this decay that's happening across the culture, we still have these idiotic, liberal, guilt-ridden, idiot women, suburban women who are willing to spend $5,000 to invite other women of color to have dinner parties at their homes and yell at them about how racist they are. This is crazy, but this is still a thing that's happening. I know we showed a clip from this probably a couple of years ago because this has been around for a while. And I remember when we talked about it initially, we thought, oh my God, this will never take off. This is crazy. Like, who would subject themselves to this?
I know people who would do it. I know people who would do it.
Who would subject themselves to it and be willing to pay $5,000 to be yelled at and told you're racist?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
bonkers.
But don't you know people who would do it? I mean, can't you like pick out a few people in your life that you're like, yeah, I think that chick would do it? There's a couple that I know that would probably do this.
Wouldn't think there would be enough to make an actual grifting living off of this, but these women are making bank doing this. It's absolutely amazing. Here's what that looks like.
White women are socialized to be nice. And part of that niceness means you don't come to a beautifully prepared dinner table and then leave because something upsets you. So we know they'll stay. So that's why we use the dinner. How many of you at this table think that you're racist?
Welcome to Race to Dinner.
How many of you at this table, you nice white people, would actually happily trade places with a black person in this society?
Disclaimer, the following contains blunt and honest conversations about racism.
We have the hostess prepare a crying room, so when your white lady feelings get hurt, you can go in the room and have at it.
Disclaimer, no white women were harmed in the making of this report.
In 30 seconds, we establish, that you all are racist, and that you know the hierarchy. Black at the bottom, white at the top, and the rest of us somewhere in between.
The goal is to have radically honest conversations. I'm old enough to have demonstrated and marched in the 60s, okay? And what I know is as a society, we don't have honest conversations about race.
During Cyber Rao's unsuccessful run for Congress in 2018, she found her schedule overflowing with coffee dates and campaign events.
At every event, line of white ladies wrapped around the door waiting to talk to me, to tell me, not all white women. My platform was anti-racism. Not me, you've got me wrong.
Denver native Regina Jackson worked on Cyrus' campaign and thought to consolidate these one-on-one anti-racism discussions into a dinner.
So we did it. We just did one of these dinners, and it was full white women, the Broadway musical. Crying, arms folded, eyes rolled, pacing around the dinner table, and we posted about it on Facebook. And it went viral.
I should have educated them.
The dinners, which continue to grow in popularity, have taken place from Denver to Chicago to Toronto. A white woman chooses to host at her home for a group of 7 friends. The price of the 2-hour dinner, $5,000.
You know why people are worked up about this because white people think that them doing this work is charity and we should be paying them. So even a penny would be too much.
Thank you. Race to Dinner's message can now be consumed through a New York Times bestseller and a documentary.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Want me to sign your book?
All
Of
geared for white
course.
women who acknowledge their unchecked biases and are looking to purge the Karen inside of them.
Danny, why?
They're looking to you know what? I gotta tell you, for $1,500, you can come to my ranch and I'll purge the Karen inside of you. It's the low bargain basement price of $1,500. I won't even charge you $5,000. I'll charge you $1,500. Come here instead. We'll purge that Karen. Unbelievable. What a grift, man.
Oh
What
my
an
God.
absolute grift.
Listen, they looked at Robin DiAngelo and they were like, we can do better than that.
Absolutely. God, a bunch of stupid women.
It's just,
It's
wow.
unreal.
Like,
Unreal.
It is unreal. And it is also unreal when women decide that they want to live as men and then they still have all their women parts and they have babies, but then they still say it's a manly thing for them to do. This will make your brain hurt just from the craziness of it. But this is a woman, a biological woman who wants to be a man and a father, but also gives birth and talks about what a beautiful, manly thing that is to do.
And are looking to purge the Karen inside of them.
Danny, why would you transition genders only to get pregnant and have a baby? This is one of the most commonly asked questions I receive. But the desire to have children doesn't discriminate based on your gender. When I was living in the world as female, I felt uncomfortable and unhappy. It wasn't until I transitioned genders that I finally became home in my body, and that allowed me to be home for somebody else. Had I not transitioned genders, I don't know if I would have been able to make it this far. And what it's taught me is that I'm no more a woman today than I was before I had my baby. Having a uterus and using that uterus to carry a child doesn't make me a woman. Yes, women birth babies, but so do trans men and non-binary people. We desire creating families just as others do, and our bodies are as capable and worthy. Transitioning genders before having a baby is part of what made this process so beautiful for me.
That kid is screwed. That kid is totally screwed. I feel so sorry for the baby. That's all I can think about is that baby. I feel so sorry for it.
What is our world?
I know. Our world is so borked. Like, I swear to
God.
There are days where I'm like, just let me off this train.
Please, sweet meteor of death.
Sweet
Where are
meteor.
you?
Come on. Come on, Jesus.
You know what we need? We need some brain bleach after that. And I am bringing it to you in the form of a bunny rabbit. I did not know this, you guys, but bunny rabbits can swim. And when they do it, they get swim ears.
Oh my gosh. It's like they have a
the
built-in
cutest thing.
cap. It's like they have a cap that's like on and built in.
Yes.
So
and you can see the ears become swim ears, and it's just the cutest thing. Watch this. Look at the bunny.
He's so
look.
They're so sweet.
Aren't they? So he's like, I'm gonna get it. Oh, there the
Oh
ears
my
go
God,
back.
bunny ears. Look. That's really cute, Mock. I didn't know this either. I've never really seen a bunny swim.
I haven't either. And like, why would we? You know what I mean? Like, why
Right.
would you see a bunny swim?
I've never seen this. I was 2 years old the first time I saw a bunny swim. Oh, and his ears pop right back up.
I know.
It's
I just
okay.
love that.
I'm in bunny mode. It's like he goes into aqua mode.
I know I showed a lot of bad things today.
It's
So
like
I
a
thought
transformer.
we
So
need this.
cute. Yeah.
We needed that. Did we
Mhm.
not? Didn't we?
Yeah.
We did. Lori Weens, thank you. Lori says Roku has a 24/7 Carol Burnett channel.
What? That's amazing.
That is amazing. That's actually
I love
really
that,
amazing.
as they should.
And Andrea Viola, thank you. Andrea says these people are not inept. They are evil. All these politicians are reality TV buffoons, and these hearings produce zero results. I know. It's so frustrating. Think of the bunny. Just think of the swimming bunny.
Think of the aqua-friendly bunny.
All right. It is time for your double D.
All right. Well, speaking of swimming and diving, I saw this and it made me very uneasy. I'm very uneasy even thinking about it. But there's Listen, I'm not a big cruise person. I know some of you guys really love cruises, and that's great. This is a woman that is I guess, a professional diver of some sort on a cruise. She gives us the aerial view, if you will, like her view of what she has to dive into. It's terrifying. I'm afraid of heights to begin with. It's like I'm afraid of heights and mediocrity. I would never do this. I don't know how she doesn't die. Check it out.
So to put it in perspective, there's the pool, there's the void plane, there's the deck, and there's the center lift. So we want to land there. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No, thank you, but no.
Just like normal. Just like normal. We got this. Easy peasy.
Oh my God. No.
Oh my God.
I mean, she does a tremendous job, but like, what if any wind or movement of the boat or anything, like, my God. God, it is such a tiny space to dive into.
Amazing.
Anybody who is a
Absolutely
swimmer
amazing.
/ diver knows that is insane. No. I hope
Oh
they're
my
paying
God.
her a lot of money because
Yeah, that was like threading a needle is what that was. Incredible.
It's really incredible. Yeah.
All right, it is time for some My Pillow Talks, and I do have some very, very sweet and good ones to show you today because we need it. We need it after today. Do we not? We need it.
We do. We really do.
So I thought we would start with a montage. Where is my montage? Yes, a compilation, if you will, of hilarious dog moments. Because dogs.
Oh my God, dogs.
Here they are. And
Oh, it's
go.
a shepherd.
Oh.
Oh my God. He's like, what?
Seriously? Why'd you turn your beard up like that? I'm not, you don't know.
Can you sit down and listen?
No.
I love you.
Oakley, come here. Come here.
I love you.
Oh my God. Coda does it all the time.
Oh my.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Those are so great. Those are really great.
Oh my God, I love those. Also, how amazing would it be to have a narcoleptic dog?
Oh my God. It's like the fainting goats, but a narcoleptic dog. So great.
And it's like one of those floofy doodles, and it's just
And he just like
cutest-
passes out. He just passes out
and it's so cute. Watch.
without warning.
Sit.
Oh.
Sit.
And I'm out.
So he is narcoleptic? Like that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's a narcoleptic dog. Just love
would
that.
be awesome.
And then Robin Shaw and how much I love her giggle.
She's so great.
I cannot get enough of her. So she gets the giggles because she and her best friend try to reenact one of those funny little dances. And
yes,
her reenactments never go right. And I think this one involves her brother as well, which makes it even funnier.
So great.
Check this out.
That would be
was
us.
good. Are you okay?
He just broke his hip. Nobody cares.
We tried.
Nobody cares. That would so be us. We'd be like, hey, Ron, get in here and like slide in. Ron would have to go get back surgery. It'd be terrible. Be like, no, it's fine. We're dancing. It's fine. It's fine.
This is a question that I have not thought about before when it comes to pronouncing names, But this guy has a point.
So how would you pronounce this name?
Jesse.
How about this name?
Jesse.
Now, see, both of those, that makes perfect sense to me. Now, I need you to follow me for a second.
Okay.
How would you pronounce this name?
Sammy.
And this name?
Sammy.
Mm-hmm. And now this name?
Vicky.
And this name?
Vicky.
Sounds good. Now this name?
Holly.
And what about this one?
Holly.
Perfect. Now this one?
Lizzie.
Do me a favor. How about this one?
Lizzie.
See, this is all making sense to me. This is tracking. How about this one?
Maddie.
And this one?
Maddie. Okay.
See, we're on the same page. This is great. Now I have one last little question for you because this one's been bothering me a little bit. What about this one?
Mary.
And this one?
Marie.
Yeah, about that, huh? About that, huh? Why is it? What?
It is a little annoying, isn't it?
What is going on?
Well, the English language. There's so many exceptions.
So
that has to be the
many.
hardest thing about learning English. Like your
my
parents
God.
probably can attest to that. That like learning English is probably the hardest. It's the hardest language to learn because of all the exceptions.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricky things for
Right.
sure. I have got your daily cat video. And I
Yay.
know how much you specifically like the two cats that talk to each other and how
I
many, oh
love
my God,
them.
so many videos have been made with those
In
cats.
love with them. Yes.
But these two cats are much angrier. At least one of them is the red cat, the orange cat. Man, that cat has got some pipes. Do you think they understand each other?
Oh, I
Like,
think they do. I just want to know what they're talking about.
oh
I
my
wanna
God, I
know.
love that.
They're so cute.
I have a few more because today we needed a lot of
We
fun
need extra.
today.
We need extra talks. Yeah. Mhm.
So there was, everybody now has a Ring camera or something similar, right? And so I guess this particular doorbell like announces to the visitor, "Hey, you're being recorded right now, FYI." And so this Amazon delivery person decided to have a little bit fun with that.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
Hi. I currently don't care because I'm Amazon. Amazon.
I love that.
Look like this. FedEx ain't built like this.
Hi, you are
That is so great.
I love him.
Uh-huh.
So great. Also, if for some reason, which I do not plan on having this happen, but if for some reason I were to become unexpectedly single after all of these years that I've been
Right.
with Ron,
Mhm.
this is exactly how I would be. And the caption on this reads, "Me entering a new relationship after years of being single and independent." Night, babe. Sweet dreams, it says. Don't tell me what to do.
Totally. Totally. This is my husband. He'll every once in a while, like when he does something, like he'll be in the kitchen, he'll be doing something. He'll be like, "Hey, come here, just in case like I get hit by a bus, and then you need to know this, so because your third husband is not going to understand how to do it." He'll say this to me, and I'm like, "Honey, you understand that if anything ever happens to you, I'm never getting married again. Like I'm not. That's not going to happen." And so it'll just be like me and the dogs. That'll be what it is. Because I'm like, you are the end all be all for me. I have to say that to him all the time because he's like, "This is going to be for your next. I'm not getting married again, ever." Yeah.
I've got more, but first need to recognize Buddha Cha 1. Thank you. Buddha Cha 1 says, "My doggy Trooper died last week."
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
He was a 19-year-old Chihuahua Terrier and lived a nice long life. Rest in peace, T-Dog.
So sorry.
Oh my God, I hate that story.
I know, I really
so
do.
sorry. Hate that. Well, I almost hate to show more dogs, but I have more dogs. I can't help it, you guys. But
I mean, it's dogs are always a happy thing, always,
Dogs
no
are
matter
a
what.
happy thing. That's right.
Always.
Remember there was a video that we played not long ago where a woman could say any word that started with an S to get her dog to sit, and it didn't even matter what word. She would be like strawberry, and the dog would sit down.
Yes.
So this dog apparently sits according to a specific tone of voice. So like if you go sit, it'll sit, but you can also do that same cadence
be like,
with any other word.
Yeah,
yes,
and it'll do
that
it.
is why this video is so funny.
Sit. Mocha Frappuccino. Honey Badger. Oh, yeah. Crisscross applesauce. Autoimmune disease. Michael Jordan. Flux capacitor. Blah, 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 blah. Sit.
I love that.
What a cutie.
I
What
know.
an absolute
So
cutie
cute.
he is.
And then two more. I've got the couple that do the balloon pranks on each other.
Yes.
This is a really good batch, you guys. And you know how much I love them. I cannot stop watching their videos. This is why this is their living, right? And they make so much money doing it because of people like me.
2.3 million people. Oh my God.
That's just who watched this video. And then, you know, they've got like 15
Lord.
million followers. Every video they do is like this because they are so, so good. Check this out.
Look at the kid. Look at the kid. His laugh. It's just his laugh. They just never know, do they?
I know. I love it. Oh.
There's always confetti. I mean, and she's got clean clothes. I'd be so pissed about the clean clothes. Oh my God. Oh God.
I mean, they're just so great.
They're so
so
great.
great.
My God, it's constant cleaning. It just gives me so much anxiety because of the cleaning. I don't know if it's just me. Is it just me? Well, I
do
so
think
much.
the confetti, it's like it makes it that much harder to clean, but
Okay.
they have got a system.
Oh my God, the cleaning part of it, anxiety.
And then I totally want to try this with either one of my dogs to see what happens. But this is awesome.
Look at his face. He's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I? All right. Oh my God, so cute.
I love that.
I feel like Theo would do it. Theo would totally do it.
Really?
Yeah, Theo's so smart. So smart.
I
Wicked.
think Maisie might actually, even though she's the dumber of the dogs. I think that she would. And I don't know that Ella would. Ella would just be like, I'm not.
Coda would like take his whole body and hurl it at us. That's what Coda would do. And then Asher would just sit on the couch and be like, I have no time for this. None of your bullshit today. None. That's how that would go down. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, those were your talks for today.
Guys, bring it in. It's Thursday. Who's glad that it's Thursday? Because I'm so glad.
I'll be gladder tomorrow.
It's been a week. Right. It's been a week. Okay.
It's been a week. And I just feel like bad things are on the way.
I know. I was going to say, hopefully we cleansed some of the bad stuff away.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we did that. I feel like we did. Okay. I know. And
Yeah.
people were asking about Astrid and the hugs. Maybe tomorrow I'll bring her in for some flaps. I know we're
it's been
due
a
for
long
some
time.
flaps. It's been a while. And I think tomorrow I can do that. But it's like all the dogs will come trampling in here and it'll just be a crap show.
But Fridays, it's okay. Friday, we can do that.
Right. Oh, somebody
do
asked
it.
where the schlong is. We'll have a schlong tomorrow. Just no schlong today. We'll have a schlong.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
no schlong. We're out of schlong. We've gone long today. So
We have,
out of
yes.
schlong time today. But
Gosh, we really have. Isn't that crazy?
This is probably the longest show we've had in a while.
Yeah. So you guys have a wonderful Thursday and we'll talk to you tomorrow.